Hello, everyone. Welcome to Friday's podcast.
We're here today, and we're going to discuss, as we did last week, about the NFL, and we're going to basically give our take on how each NFC team will fare this year. And we'll start with each division.
NFC is amazing.
So, without further ado, we're going to start with the NFC East.
Yes, the NFC East consists of the Philadelphia Eagles, the Dallas fucking Cowboys, the Washington Redskins, and the New York Giants. So, Jake, go ahead. What do you think? You went first. I went first last team.
Okay, so I'm going to start this off. I think the Eagles will finish in first place.
Thank you.
I think they're going to be 11-5 this year. Nick Foles is coming off just an incredible season, something that he probably won't repeat, but I think he'll still do well this year. I think he's going to throw for 24 touchdowns and 11 picks.
Ooh! I
3,800 yards.
completely disagree with you there. He's my quarterback,
I know they lost to Deshaun Jackson,
who is apparently the greatest thing ever.
but, it's time for others to step up, and Jerry Macklin's back.
He's going to be fantastic.
And then, of course, Riley Cooper, who is still... He's a good receiver.
He's fantastic.
He's not a starting receiver. He's a number 2 receiver, definitely. But, it's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see what happens here. And, I think Zach Ertz is actually the dark horse in this offense.
Zach Ertz has been awesome.
I'm telling you right now, I know Brent Selleck, he's still technically the starting tight end, but I think Zach Ertz is primed to have a nice year this year. And I think the Eagles are going to do extremely well. And I think they're gonna start off a little shaky. I think they're gonna start off like 3-3.
Their first game is against the Jaguars.
They're gonna win their first game.
Dude.
They are going to win their first game. But like I said, I think they're gonna start off a little shaky, and they're gonna have some question marks, but they're gonna rise to the occasion and defeat adversity, and they're gonna go 11-5. So second. I think the Giants are going to go 10-6. I think Eli is going to rebound, have a much better year this year.
He better, because I feel bad for Eli.
I do too. And last year it was a down year. And here's the thing, the Giants started off freaking 0-6, if you recall.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
And no one gave them a chance. They won 4 straight games. They won 4 straight games in a row. And then, what? What? 2? So, while we're actually doing this podcast, Ian's playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories.
Oh, so close. The Falsebound Kingdom.
Falsebound Kingdom. My fault.
Forbidden Memories is the one on the PlayStation.
Okay. Well, yeah, so we apologize if we're a bit distracted. But anyways, as I was saying, I think the Giants are going to go 10-6 this year. I think they're going to get a wild card spot, and I think Eli's going to have a nice year, and I think Victor Cruz is going to be healthy. I think everything's going to go real well for him. They got Mario Manningham back, which is kind of cool. Only question.
Wait, they did?
Yeah.
The
only question I have is at the running back position. I don't think David Wilson did enough for himself last year to say, "Hey, I'm incredible." Unfortunately, he's...
and Andre Brown ain't awesome.
He's just not with it.
Their defense isn't that great. Their secondary's pretty good.
Yeah, no, it definitely
And they just
is.
got Walter Thurman, didn't they?
Yes, they did. Yep, they signed him in free agency, so I think that was nice. They did lose Justin Tuck, but...
how good was Justin really?
Justin Tuck actually had a pretty nice year last year. He did. I'm gonna
that whole Giants defense had a shit
Well,
year.
yeah. Justin Tuck actually had 11 sacks last year, so...
It's pretty surprising, honestly.
I mean,
I'm a JPP.
It's kind of been up and down.
JPP.
Jason Pierre-Paul didn't really have that great of a year last year at all. He was injured for a lot of the season, but I think he'll rebound as well. And I wish they would have kept Justin Tuck, but
of course they didn't. Of course they didn't.
Of course, he's old now.
He's old. He's 31.
You know what I mean? It's just part of the Super Bowl.
Once you turn 30 on your 30th birthday, you can suck a dick.
I hate that. That is one thing that I hate about the NFL. is that they shun older players. I understand, yes, your body naturally
Wrong side of 30.
starts to decline, once you get older. But give the guy some credit. Honestly, I would much rather have a veteran starting than, a younger player starting.
Any day.
Here's the thing. These older players are in the league because they've been there. They've done that. They have... Oh, and you know what? Going back to the Giants' defense, honestly, I think they have the most underrated safety in the game in Antrell Roll. And I honestly can say that with a ton of confidence. I think he's the most underrated safety in the game right now. He does not get any recognition at all. The guy had 98 tackles, which, it's not totally his fault. He made a lot of tackles, awesome, and he probably shouldn't have had to make that many tackles, but he also had 6 interceptions. The guy is around the ball. He causes havoc, and I think he is, like I said, the most underrated safety in the game.
He's very good.
But anyways, going back to that whole thing, I don't like how people don't give veterans enough credit, and it just pisses me off. It really does. But anyways, all right. So I think the Giants are going to go 10-6. Prince of Mukamara too, that secondary.
Yes, I like Prince.
You know what? I think he's
after he broke his foot in an ice bath.
Yeah, he's on the rise. Watch out for him this year. So moving on, I think the Cowboys finished third at 9-7. It's going to be a good division. I think it's going to be really tight this year. I think they're not going to have enough again to make it to the playoffs, which really sucks.
So what's the record?
What's
the record?
I think they're 9. I think they go 9-7
again.
Yeah. Well, they went 8-8 last year.
I know.
But
that's right. They did.
And here's the thing. I hate people who say that Tony Romo is not a good quarterback. Because here's the deal. He is a good quarterback. It's just...
He's just not. He's just not.
No. Statistically, you look at the guy statistically, he's right up there with your elite quarterbacks.
And he's had nothing to work with.
The thing, he does, but it's just so sporadic.
That offensive line.
The only problem I see with Tony Romo is that when it comes down to a must-win game, most of the time, they don't win. And it's not totally all on him. You got to look at the people around him.
I don't think it's on him at all.
I mean, it is a little bit, because he does sometimes make some stupid throws.
Yeah, but the defense can't hold him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That secondary is horrible.
The defense has gone way downhill.
They couldn't stop
last year,
Ahmad Merritt.
Monty Kiffin, I'm so sorry. I love him to death, and he was phenomenal with the Buccaneers in 2002 when he coached them to the Super Bowl as a defensive coordinator.
I was going to say he was not that coach
No,
at all.
no, not at all. But, first of all, the fact that the Cowboys went to a 4-3, I don't like that at all. They're not a 4-3 defense. They've always been a 3-4 defense. Secondly, it didn't do them any good. I think they were right up there with the most points allowed in the league. But the defense really screws them up. And then you can't put everything on Tony Romo. And here's the thing, too. A lot of people say, well, he turns the ball over. He does make some stupid throws, but he doesn't turn the ball over as much as you think. He had 31 touchdowns and only 10 interceptions last year. So that's pretty damn good. That's a great touchdown-interception ratio.
It's fantastic.
But yeah, I think the Cowboys finished 9-7. I think they get very close again, like they always do, and they just don't make it. And then in fourth place, I think the Redskins finish 7-9, and that's under the new head coach, Jay Gruden.
You really think they're going to be that good?
I think they're going to be okay. I think they have some nice players. Last year was just everyone was out of sync. There was a lot of issues in the locker room with Mike Shanahan and RG3.
Yeah, I know what happened there. Mike Shanahan's not that big of a dick.
Well, I don't know. He wasn't a good fit there in Washington, and
yeah, but they made him look like a dick.
They did, but he kind of made himself look like a dick too. It was just a bad thing. It was just a bad scene altogether. But I think they go 7-9 this year. Alfred Morris is going to have a nice year. He's going to have 1,300 yards. And Pierre Garçon's going to probably have about 95 catches this year, I think. And those are my predictions there for the NFC East.
All right.
So I'll let you take over. We're already at 10 minutes.
This is going to be an hour long.
I'm trying to make this as brief as possible, but it's just so hard to do so. I can't.
So my predictions are, since I am an Eagles fan and I got a smidge bit of bias on me, I apologize for that, but unfortunately, you're going to have to live with it. Eagles are going to go 12-4 in Chip Kelly's second year as the head coach.
12-4.
Oh, yes. They're going to dominate. They're going to go 6-0 in the division. They're going to dominate that division. No one can stop them because the Giants' secondary is the only secondary that's halfway good. The Dallas secondary is
you know what,
awful.
Though? Speaking of bad secondaries, I'm not too sure about the Eagles secondary.
Honestly, the Eagles secondary is the only thing I'm worried about. And
because everything else is pretty much stacked.
They did get Malcolm Jenkins.
I like that.
So that helps them out a lot. But everything else is stacked. I mean, you look at the linebackers, Michael Kendricks, Trent Cole, Connor Barwin. It's ridiculous. I mean, and they also just got Malcolm Smith. I don't know how good he's going to be.
Whoa.
Malcolm Smith. Yikes. Marcus Smith, they drafted in the first round. I don't know about that. I don't know about that whole situation. I hope it works out because obviously. But, And jeez. And they got LaShawn McCoy. I think Nick Foles will throw for 31 touchdowns.
31
touchdowns and 13 interceptions.
Shit.
And I think the 13 interceptions, most of those will be off of drop passes because the receiving core is a little iffy at the moment right now. And I think that's mostly because the receiving core is a little young.
They are. They are young.
I mean,
But they have a lot of potential, which is great. And I love to see that. And I think Jeremy Maclin is going to come off that torn ACL.
Oh, he's going to be fantastic.
Tear it up
and you're right about Zach Ertz. They also have the best offensive lineman in the game.
Yeah, they do. Only problem there.
Oh, with Lane Johnson. Well,
he's suspended right now. So
well, they haven't ruled that yet.
Oh, it's not official?
Well, they're trying to figure out his punishment.
Yeah.
Even so, he didn't do that great last year. He's not the core of that. They got Todd Harrimans, Evan Mathis, Jason Kelsey, and Jason Peters, all of which are Pro Bowlers, and all of which were except for Todd Harrimans, were basically named the best at their position. They're fantastic, and they have them locked in for a long time. So I really like that a lot. So they will go 12-4 and 6-0 in the division. If not 6-0, they'll lose one game to the Giants, I think. Continuing off of that, I think next will be the Giants, but I think that they will go 8-8.
Really?
I don't think they're going to do that great.
Wow.
I mean, they have some good receivers. I think their offense is going to work, but if you can't get the run game going, you can't get the pass game going.
There. They really do.
Need something there big time. So I think that will be their ultimate downfall in the end. And they
did draft Andre Williams out of Boston College, though.
Yeah, but too many rookies. He also can't catch for shit.
Yeah.
So you draft too many rookie running backs.
Tom
and then
Coughlin loves his Boston College guys.
Yeah, that's true. So you got to figure out what you're going to do there. I think they're going to go a healthy 8-8. Dallas will be last. I think Washington is going to go 5-11, and Dallas is going to go 3-13.
3-13.
Dallas sucks right now,
dude.
They lost Sean Lee for the whole year. Doug Free is
true.
terrible. They got Rolando McClain to try to replace him, who's on the reserved retired list. That secondary is the worst thing I've ever seen. That defense is just awful.
So up and down. That's the problem with
their
them.
defense is just so god awful. I've never seen a worse defense. It's really bad. Tony Romo's fabulous.
Spencer's not bad.
Tony Romo is a great quarterback, and I think he should be traded.
Well, their offense is nice. They have good players on offense. I mean, they did. Well, Miles Austin just departed.
DeMarco Murray's probably going to get hurt.
I don't know.
Des Bryant is their only good receiver.
Jason Witten too.
He's not a receiver.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying.
Jason Witten's great, but
you don't get Escobar.
How long can you ride?
Gavin Escobar is good. Dude, I am a huge fan of Gavin Escobar. I like these new upcoming tight ends.
I'm going to have to say no on that one. But how long can you ride Des Bryant and Jason Witten and Tony Romo to the top? You can't just have... It's not like
Cole Beasley.
It's not like basketball where you can have three good players.
Williams. I forgot about Terrence.
Yeah, but Terrence Williams is all right. He's not the greatest thing ever.
You know who Terrence Williams is? He's like a... it's like a Darius Thompson. Former Dolphin.
Sure.
That's what he's like.
That's not that great. That's not that great.
That's
at
like
all.
a solid 500, 700-yard receiver.
I don't know if I like that much.
I like the compare. I think it's a good comparison.
I don't know that much about Terrence Williams, so I'm sure it is. So, back to Washington, though. I'll get back to Dallas. I think they're going to go 5-11. RG3 will do all right this year. I mean, I'm not a huge...
Both went to Baylor, too.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of RG3. I like RG3. He's fine. Like, I have no, like, immediate problems with RG3 anymore. I used to. But, you know... The whole thing with the knee, I think that might catch up with him a bit, and he's going to have to watch out for that. I think Pierre Garçon and Alfred Morris, they got a lot of good tools, but they kind of just have a bunch of mediocre guys, it seems like. I mean, offensive line is average. Other than Pierre Garçon, the receiving core is kind of average. I mean, Fred Davis and, who's... Oh, that's right.
Already is gone.
He's gone. Jordan Reed is... In my mind,
Jordan
average.
Reed came out of nowhere.
I mean, other than Alfred Morris, they got...
He's like Timothy Wright.
Their offense is pretty average. I mean, their defense is average. Yeah, they got Ryan Kerrigan and Brian Arakpo, but...
London Fletcher just retired.
London Fletcher retired. That's going to be a huge hit to the leadership. But
they did resign D'Angelo Hall, which is huge.
That is huge.
Because I'll tell you what, D'Angelo Hall's
fantastic.
Corner.
But it's all just kind of
consistent.
Average to me. And honestly, when you have the Eagles in your division, and even the Giants, you can't get along with just average. I'm sorry. You need to have an above average.
I agree. There's a lot of weapons in that division. And it's gonna be...
I just don't think it's going to work out for them. I feel bad because the Redskins, I mean, I know I'm an Eagles fan, but I don't know. I kind of feel bad for the Redskins. I mean, they always get screwed in free agency, and they never have the best drafts unless they're drafting, like, in the top 5. So, unfortunately... I'm going to have to say they're going to go 5-11, and Dallas is going to be, and I'm trying so hard not to be biased here, but if you look at that roster, you have 3 good players, and that the defense is just not that good.
I mean, on the defense, as far as I mean, Morris Claiborne,
he was horrible last year.
I know.
He was absolutely
injured, though,
terrible.
Too. And then, I mean, you have, I totally forgot about this, but they also have Brandon Carr, who's pretty good. He's solid.
Yeah, but he didn't even do that great this past year.
3 picks.
It's not awesome.
71 tackles, 3 picks. It's solid. Brandon Carr has always been solid to above average. And then... and
they're kind of like the Redskins in the way...
Barry Church isn't too bad either.
Yeah, I don't trust that guy.
And then Anthony Spencer, of course.
Yeah. But the thing is, it all to me, when I look at it, is just average.
Yeah.
Average or below average. And it just doesn't work. It's not going to fly in this league anymore. So... I'm going to have to say they're going to go 3-13, which is probably going to be their worst record in a long time. They're going to have to rethink that roster. They're going to have to rethink a lot of things, I think, this year. I think Jerry Jones needs to stop meddling in football affairs and leave it to a GM. They need to fire Jason Garrett because he's a pussy.
I hate Jason. I'm not a Jason Garrett fan.
I am not a Jason Garrett fan at all. And they need to trade Tony Romo and start fresh because Tony Romo...
Trade him?
Because, no, Tony Romo deserves so much better. He is a winning quarterback, and he needs a team that he's going to win on. And I think that would help the team significantly if they traded him and then started fresh, because that would give another team just a ton better chance to try to win. With Tony Romo, I think Tony Romo, if he went to the Vikings,
oh my gosh,
I think that could possibly
be interesting.
That could possibly be a playoff team.
Greg Jennings over there, you got.
Or what if they traded Tony Romo for Johnny Manziel, and then they get Johnny back in Texas? Watch it happen, fellas. Watch it happen. Anyways, we're not going to talk about that anymore. That's mine for the NFC East. We're going to move on to the NFC North, which consists of the Green Bay Packers, the Chicago Bears, the Detroit Lions, and the Minnesota Vikings.
All right, so...
Should I go first on this one?
Yeah, you can go first here.
All right, then. Well, I think the Packers are going to go a nice 11-5. They're pretty good, aren't they, huh? I think the Packers are fantastic. Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback. He's healthy now. They got 2 decent receivers with Randall Cobb and Jordy Nelson. And who's that other guy that started making catches at the end there?
Jared Boykin.
Jared Boykin, that's right. I think he's pretty good.
Yeah,
I think he'll get there. Their tight end situation is kind of right now.
Well, they did get Owen Daniels.
I thought the Ravens got Owen Daniels. Pretty sure the Ravens got Owen Daniels. In fact, I'm almost certain they did.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Why did I think because I saw that he was visiting the Packers.
You know what, though?
What the hell? Where did I get that from?
There are a lot of teams that survive without tight ends, and I don't think Aaron Rodgers needs a tight end, honestly. And he's good enough without a tight end.
Tom Crabtree.
Yeah. I think he's good enough.
Donald Lee back.
He's good enough. They're good enough that they don't need a tight end, I think. They got a solid offensive line. It's not fantastic. It's nothing to gloat home about.
Andrew Prolis is okay.
Yeah, I mean, they're great. They're not that great. Eddie Lacy was great last year.
Yeah,
really liked Eddie Lacy.
I love Eddie Lacy. I like his height and weight. I like the way he runs.
I love it. He's such a power back. I love it. The only problem I have with them is their defense. Ooh. I mean, they did get Julius Peppers, which is great. That's a great addition to them. Yeah. They got Clay Matthews back and healthy. They still have A.J. Hawk somehow. I have no idea how that's possible.
A.J. Hawk, a lot of people were kind of looking down on him, but he's starting to get back to where he once was.
I'm honestly
he's
surprised.
Trying to prove himself, get back to that first-round quality that he was. And this past year, he did pretty damn good. He really did. And then I think also a very, very underrated corner, Tremont Williams. I am a big fan of him.
Really?
I love
I'm
Tremont
surprised.
Williams. You know what? He's been in this league for a while. He's 30 years old, Just so you know.
Yeah, I know.
And he's a very, very good corner.
He's good. Yeah, he's good.
And
Clay
Matthews is going to be healthy again, so that's great.
They have a lot to work with, and
here's where I have questions. Besides Clay Matthews, you have Nick Perry. I haven't seen shit from Nick Perry.
Yeah, he's got to step up.
Now he's a first-round pick.
I do think they will be 11-5. And
yeah, I do too.
If I do say so myself, I don't think they're going to have as much competition. Yeah,
it's enough.
I think the Bears are going to go another 9-7. If not 9-7, 10-6.
Bears went 8-8.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting that. I think that they have a good chance at making the playoffs as a wild card, and I think they should. I like Jay Cutler. I love their receiving core. Oh my goodness. I don't like Alshon that much, but man, you got Brandon Marshall, Alshon Jeffrey, and Martellus Bennett catching passes.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Just great. I love it. Phenomenal. Great. And then you have Matt Forte, who's a fantastic running back. And I think Jay Cutler will rebound from this injury, and he'll throw for a good amount of yards, a good amount of touchdowns. And I love their defense. Oh my goodness, Lamar Houston, and you got what's his face, Jared Allen, who just signed with them.
Yeah.
Charles Tillman and Tim Jennings.
Stacked.
Yeah, their defense.
Then you got Henry Melton.
Yeah, their defense is looking good again, and I think that they're going to go a good. You know what? 10-6. I'm going to say for them.
Only problem is they did lose Charles Tillman. That's a big loss.
Where did he go again?
The Bucs.
He did?
Yeah,
I don't
they got
reason.
him and Elteron Werner, which is insane.
Yeah, that is pretty insane. Well, they still have Tim Jennings, so they have some leeway there.
Is good, and then Major Wright's he's good at safety.
That's true. But yeah, I think that they'll be solid. I think Detroit will be next with probably 8-8. I don't know about Detroit. Again, they're kind of, other than Calvin, they're a pretty average team. I mean, Reggie Bush I like a lot. I like Matt Stafford, even though people are having all these freaking problems with him.
Another guy on the defensive line, they also signed Jason Hatcher.
That's right.
Which is ridiculous. You look at that defensive line.
Oh, I know.
Lamar Houston, Henry Melton, Jason Hatcher, and Jared Allen.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
But Detroit's defense is good. I like it a lot, but I don't know. I'm a little, I don't know. Unfortunately, Detroit's got a bit of bad luck. And I don't know. I don't think they have a shot this year. Maybe next year. They need to do something. They need to get some above average defenders in the secondary. Maybe. I mean, they got Louis Delmas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. They got to do a few things to improve, but they do have DeAndre Levy, Ndamukong, Kong, and Nick Fairley, who I like a lot. Stephen Tulloch, yeah.
Chris Houston.
Yikes.
Yikes.
I do like their team, though. And then I think the Vikings are going to go 4-12 because the only player on that team, on that offense, who can actually do anything is AP. Teddy Bridgewater is going to bomb. Christian Ponder is going to bomb, and Matt Castle is going to be the starter for pretty much all 16 games.
Which I'm okay with.
I'm okay with, too, but I just don't think he's going to be that great. Greg Jennings, I feel so bad for him because he's on a team with absolutely terrible quarterbacks, and he's pretty
still
much
managed to get 800 yards this year.
He's still being overshadowed by Cordell Patterson, and that defense isn't that great. I don't like that defense at all, and they just lost Jared Allen. So,
yeah,
how about
scary.
that?
Yeah,
it's a little scary. So I think they're going to be 4-12. I think that's a solid place to put them. So I'm going to run off to the rest room, and Jake's going to give you his picks.
All right. Well, basically, I'm saying that the Packers are going to finish it first. They're going to go 11-5. I think. I think that's a nice, solid, safe record to pick for them. I like what they have with their weapons. I love their backfield. Now, Jonathan Franklin did just retire due to injury problems, but my boy James Starks, he's the healthiest he's ever been, and I'll tell you what, he's ready, just in case Eddie Lacy needs a breather. He'll be ready, and I think he'll be a very nice compliment to him, and I really hope the best for him. But yeah, Eddie Lacy obviously is phenomenal as well. And Randall Cobb's going to be healthy, which is incredible because this is a guy that can do it all. And, I'm normally not a huge fan of those players that are like just everything, like Brad Smithy. But Randall Cobb can actually put up numbers too, which is good. And I'm a huge fan of that. And then, Jordy Nelson, man. This guy produces, he puts up numbers, and he just continues to be overshadowed. And I don't know why it is. I really don't.
Well, he didn't do that great this year.
He had 1,300 yards this year.
Oh, that's probably because Randall.
No one even knows that. No one even knows. He had 85 receptions for 1,314 yards and 8 touchdowns. That's pretty damn good.
That's not bad.
That is really good. And he wasn't even. He played all 16 games this year too, which is excellent. But yeah, I think the Packers, like Ian was saying, the only question I have is, as far as their defense goes, I think Nick Perry, it's time for him to step up and show that he's a first-round talent. And, they have Morgan Burnett, Tremont Williams, who I said, M.D. Jennings, who is pretty solid. I also like Sam Shields. I do like him a lot, too. But yeah, I think their defense is, it's a little shaky in some areas, but you still have Ryan Pickett, B.J. Raji, Johnny. Did they release Johnny Jolly? I don't remember.
Yeah, they did.
And then, you did sign Julius Pepper, so that's good. They also, C.J. Wilson's gone now. Now he's on the Raiders. So, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, second, I think the Bears finished second with 10-6. I think they claim the other wild card spot. Reason why I say this. I think, honestly, if it wasn't for that meltdown they had last year, they would have totally gone far with the way that they were doing things. I was really glad that Josh McCown kind of rebounded and proved himself and showed that he was worthy of a starting role. I also think it's extremely important to give Matt Forte as many touches as possible, whether it's receiving or just running the ball. That's the one great thing about Matt Forte is that he's somewhat like Steven Jackson early on in his career, where he could run for 1,300 yards and then also make 70 receptions, which is awesome. So yeah, very very close comparison there to Steven Jackson early on, and I am a huge South Carolina Gamecocks fan, so I love Alshon Jeffrey. I never expected him to break out like he did last year. In fact, I always had questions about him because he was such a freak athlete, but, I never truly realized how strong his hands were. Like, the guy just goes up there and grabs the ball, man. I absolutely love what I saw from him this year. And I know, he may not have the best hands or the softest hands. He has very strong hands, and he's a freak of nature out there. I love the body on Alshon and Brandon Marshall. It's just phenomenal. You got two huge receivers out there. Those guys are physical. Those guys are tough. They go up and they get the ball. It's just absolutely incredible. And then you got Martellus Bennett, which is excellent too. So I think that offense is just stacked, and I am excited to see it in action this year. Now they did lose Devin Hester, but I don't think there will ever be another kick returner who was that successful in that span of time in Chicago, or maybe even in the NFL ever again. This guy just came out of the blue. I mean, he's the best return man since freaking Brian Mitchell, I think. And that's really saying something, because Brian Mitchell is worthy of the Hall of Fame as a return man, I think, in my personal opinion. But anyways, going on. I need to move on here. They did lose. We already touched on the defense. I like John Bostic. I really do. I think he's good. I think he's got a lot of potential to succeed in this league, and he's got big shoes to fill because he's replacing Brian Urlacher. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting. Also, Zach Bowman, very underrated corner. He's primed to have a nice year, especially because he's stepping in now for Charles Tillman. Anyways, moving on now. I think the Lions go 8-8 this year.
It's copycat.
No. I don't see them as a playoff team yet. Just too many ups and downs, too many inconsistencies, and although they do have a lot of weapons, they also just signed Golden Tate, so that's cool. I'm not
overpaid, useless piece of shit.
He's a solid receiver. He's not, not anything super special. He's a tough physical guy. He's a grinder, which I like, but he's a little too cocky for his own good. And then obviously, Kelvin Johnson's just a freak. They have Reggie Bush, who, he had a nice year last year. He just had over 1,000 yards rushing. He could catch the ball out of the backfield too, which is nice. You could also line him up in the slot, which is cool. And then Joseph Fourier, who just came out of nowhere. Christian Fourier's nephew, actually. 7 touchdowns last year, which is...
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because they got Eric Ebron now.
Oh, that's right! Oh my god. Brandon Pettigrew, Eric Ebron, and freaking Joseph Fourier. Talk about spreading the wealth. That's going to be really interesting. It really is. That's the thing, though. I don't like when teams get a ton of different guys because it ruins their stats. I love stats. And I hate seeing guys' stats diminish, but that just kind of goes to show that these guys are willing to win. They're willing to sacrifice their own numbers, so that's cool. But and then I think the Vikings, they go 6-10 this year. Matt Castle, he's gonna finish the year off. I think Teddy Bridgewater gets in a little bit, but I do not see him doing anything good for that organization right now. I think it's just too early. And I think, honestly, it'll do him some good to sit and learn because, I like Teddy Bridgewater. I just don't see him being, worth his selection as of right now. I think the best thing for him to do is just to sit behind Matt Castle. I think he'll get in some games just because they're not going to do that well this year. But at the same time, I think it's very important for him to learn from a veteran, especially a guy who learned from one of the best quarterbacks of all time in Tom Brady. I think that's extremely important. And also, here's the thing about the Vikings defense. Now, I know they lost Jared Allen, but they have actually some pretty young players with some good potential. Brian Robinson just signed a new contract with them. He had 9 sacks last year. He's pretty good. You also got freaking Sharif Floyd, who I think has extreme potential. They did also get rid of Kevin Williams, too, so that's pretty big. Did he sign with the Patriots, Kevin Williams?
I don't think so.
I forget. I know he was visiting with them or something. I forget if he signed with them or not. Chad Greenway is pretty damn good. And then, Aaron Henderson can't stay out of trouble, so...
Yeah, he signed with the Seahawks.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that. Xavier Rhodes, he's pretty solid. And you got Chris Cook, who's pretty good too at corner. Oh, and Harrison Wright, he's a great safety. I really like what he's done. I think he's a definitely very underrated safety. I really like Harrison Wright. He reminds me of like a Kevin Casefaharn back when he was with the Bengals. Dude, Kevin Casefaharn was good, man. He was really good. But anyways, all right, yeah, so that's my predictions for the NFC North. We got to move on here because we are going way over.
We're on pace to go for over an hour. Great. NFC South consisting of the Carolina Panthers, New Orleans Saints, Atlanta Falcons, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Your predictions, my friend.
All right. I think first place goes to the Saints. I think they're going to go 12-4. They're going to have a really good year this year. I see them doing such big things. They have really helped out their defense, too. They signed Champ Bailey and Jarvis Bird. That is excellent. I know they got rid of Malcolm Jenkins, but okay.
Jarvis Bird.
So what? Yeah, replace him with Jarvis Bird, who's a better safety. So I think
Malcolm
that's
Jenkins.
Awesome. I also like that they have Rob Ryan as their defensive coordinator, too. I think that's excellent. And as far as their offense goes, Jesus, man. That is just
I mean, when you have Drew
unbelievable.
Brees, you have an offense.
Yeah, it's just amazing. I can't see any other offense even competing with them. I personally think they have the best offense. I think they have the most weapons. Okay, so the Saints are going to go 12-4. I'm going to speed this up a little bit here. Second place, I think, is going to be the Falcons. I think they're going to rebound from last year. I don't see them as a 4-12 team like they were last year. I think they're going to go 10-6 this year. They're just going to miss out on the wild card to the Bears and the Giants.
Really? You don't think the 49ers are going to make the playoffs?
I didn't even get to the NFC West.
Yeah,
I don't want them to make the playoffs.
but they're probably going to.
I don't think they're going to.
Wow.
I think they're
That
going
is
9-7.
Boldest prediction
I think the 49ers go 9-7.
Yikes.
Mark my words. I think they're going
I'll
9-7.
tell you right now,
I
the
think Colin
Giants
Kaepernick
are not going to playoffs.
I think Colin Kaepernick has a meltdown this year, and I hope it happens.
He better have a meltdown.
But anyways, Falcons, I think they're going to go 10-6. They're just going to barely miss the playoffs. And everyone's going to say, oh, well, now they need a 7th playoff team. And, I'm going to get really pissed off if they do that. Don't even get me started. I will literally march up to New York and protest in Roger Goodell's face. I can't even stand him. I don't even want to get into this because I'm going to get real heated. I might even start throwing some F-bombs, start swearing and going off. So
I so want to swear.
we'll save that for another day. We will save that for another day. Yes, the Falcons have lost Tony Gonzalez, unfortunately, but
Maybe he'll come back mid-season.
that would be awesome. That would be really awesome. But I really like what they've done. Defensively, they signed Paul Soliai. They signed... I'm trying to think of who else they got. Oh, shoot. They signed some other... Did they sign... No, that was the Dolphins. They signed Brandon Albert, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They got Paul Soliai.
They drafted Jake Matthews, who was the best draft pick they could have ever gotten.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a very nice
His
pick.
father played there. Or no, wait, his father was Clay Matthews Sr. I thought his father was Jake Matthews for some reason.
Jake Matthews'
Yeah.
father is Bruce Matthews.
Oh, wait.
He played for
I'm
the
thinking
Oilers.
of Bruce and Clay Matthews.
Well, no, they're
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
Bruce and Clay Matthews Sr.
right.
And Clay Matthews played for the Falcons as a linebacker.
Yeah.
And Bruce Matthews was
And
the
the
lineman
Browns.
for the tight end. Yeah. And another team, I forget what the other team was, but he played for 3.
Who? Bruce?
No, Clay.
Yeah.
He played for 3 teams.
Yeah.
Played for the Falcons, Browns, and I forget the other team. And then Bruce had 3 sons. No, not Mike Matthews. Someone Matthews, Jake Matthews, and Clay Matthews, Jr.
No.
Yeah, that was
Clay Matthews. Clay Matthews for the Packers is
Right.
Clay Matthews Sr.'s son.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. He's Clay Matthews Jr., dude.
I'm pretty sure he's not.
Yeah,
Wait,
dude, that wouldn't make
hold
any
on.
sense.
Maybe he named it after his brother.
No. Yeah, he's actually
Forgot
Clay
to
Matthews
say.
the third. My fault.
Wait a minute. Who was the one who played for the Eagles for a little bit? Or he's still on the Eagles?
Casey Matthews.
Casey Matthews.
Yeah,
and
that's
Bruce-
Clay
so-
Matthews' brother.
Wait.
Yeah. Clay Matthews Sr. has Clay Matthews,
Matthews
Jr.
and-
for the Packers.
And Casey Matthews.
And Casey Matthews.
And Bruce Matthews
Bruce
has
Matthews
Jake,
has Jake Matthews. And then there's another Matthews. who's
in
also
Texas
playing.
A&M,
Yeah.
who's also a lineman. And there's
Yeah.
another one.
Is there?
Yeah.
Shit. I don't even know.
I thought he had 3. One of them has 3. The one on Texas.
Let's take a look.
One
Bruce
on Texas
Matthews,
A&M is
Kansas
Mike
Tree.
Matthews.
Let's take a look.
I'm almost certain.
All right. Wow. He's the son of Clay Matthews Sr., who played in the NFL. His brother, Clay Matthews Jr., also played 19 seasons in the NFL for the Cleveland Browns. He only played for the Browns.
No, he didn't. He played for the Falcons.
Yeah, he did. Let me take a look.
I know he did. I've seen pictures of him.
Yeah, just the Browns and the Falcons. Okay.
We are at 40 minutes. We'll do this another time. We gotta move on. So the Falcons.
Kyle Matthews, Clay Matthews, and Casey are Clay Matthews' sons. Now, as far as Bruce goes, his sons
are Jake.
Or
Mike.
Jake. I don't even see the others, but
All right.
shit.
The Falcons. Gotta talk about the Falcons.
Shit, man. Oh, shit. Okay, anyways, yeah, going back to the Falcons, hold on here.
Oh, boy. We are at 40 minutes. We are at 42 minutes. Or 41 minutes, I should say. This is going to go over an hour. It's a podcast, not supposed to go over an hour.
Oh my gosh, this is insane.
So the Falcons.
Wow, that's crazy. But yeah, all right. So I think the Falcons go 10-6. I'm not going to even say any more about them. Then I think that the Panthers are going to go 7-9. They're going to just have it down here. I can't see them doing very well this year. I know they lost a ton of freaking. They lost all their receivers. They did, and I love Jay Stevon to death, but I'm sorry, you're not going to revive.
My favorite
that.
player in the league currently.
Yeah, and I'm a huge fan of him, and I also like Greg Olsen a lot. I like Jericho Cotchery. I hope he does very well. They also got Kelvin Benjamin in the first round, which is going to be interesting. I don't think he's going to be super good. I really don't. I think he's going to have like 700 yards.
His rookie year, yeah, probably something like that.
And defensively, you know what I mean? They're just
second in the league. Second in the league last year.
I understand.
They didn't
that.
lose anyone, I don't think.
I'm trying to
I
think.
think they lost Thomas Davis, maybe.
Well, Greg Hardy might not even be on the field because he's being a douche and abuses his girlfriend. So.
Oh, that's good. That's always good. Okay, and then Tampa Bay.
The Bucks are going to go 6-10. So an improvement, but not quite where they need to be. I love Josh McCown, and I really hope that he proves me wrong and that he actually takes them. You know what? Fuck this. Buccaneers 8-8. They finished third. They have so much potential. And I know they lost Mike Williams, but here's
Mike Evans is better.
They have Mike Evans, Vincent Jackson, then you have freaking Timothy Wright at tight end. And you also have
Doug Martin.
Who else did they get at tight end? They got another tight end.
I don't know.
I don't even know. But Timothy Wright came out of nowhere last year. That was pretty sweet. But I will tell you what, I think, Doug Martin's going to be back too, which is phenomenal. Bobby Rainey actually did very well in his place. He really did, and I was happy to see that. And then you got Levante David, who's pretty damn good too. He had 5 picks last year, which is awesome. And then you have Mark Barron, you have Deshaun Goldson still. And then just think about the secondary. Holy shit. Mark Barron, Deshaun Goldson at safeties, Charles Tillman, and Elteron Verner at corner.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's incredible. And then you got Levante David at linebacker. And don't forget Gerald McCoy, too. And then...
and Adrian Claiborne.
Adrian Claiborne.
So much for that. Daquan Bowers.
He's solid.
Remember him? So are those your picks?
Yeah, those are my picks.
All right.
I'm out of it now.
Saints are going to go 12-4. Their offense is always ridiculous. It will continue to be ridiculous. The Falcons are going to go 10-6, I think, because their defense still needs some work. And their offense is going to be fine this year, but their defense still... And they did improve their offensive line, but not quite enough. I think they will make the playoffs alongside the Bears. Or I'm sorry, no, alongside the 49ers when we get there. I don't think the Bears will make the
Dude, I
playoffs.
really don't think I don't think the 49ers are going to do that great.
Wow, that's yikes.
I think they're going to do okay. I think they're going to go 9-7.
Next, I also think the Buccaneers are going to be second, but I think that they're going to be 8-8. Josh McCown is amazing. I don't care what anyone says. He is the best quarterback ever, behind Brian Hoyer. I love Josh McCown. And
Huge fan.
that defense is ridiculous. That
Follow
offense
him
is
through Sam
ridiculous.
Houston State.
And if you look at the receivers that are in the NFC South, other than the Falcons, you don't have that many like standout receivers. You don't have any in the Panthers. And in the Saints, you just have a very good quarterback that's throwing to a bunch of decent receivers. I mean, Marcus Colston is very good, but he kind of dropped off last year.
So he rebounded.
Kenny Stills is doing all right. I like Kenny, but well, actually, I don't like Kenny. I should say.
I hate.
I really
Stills.
don't like Kenny
Not
Stills.
a fan.
Did they re-sign Robert Meacham or no?
Yeah, they did.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have a bunch of solid receivers, and then you got Levante David covering Jimmy Graham or someone covering Jimmy. Probably Mark Barron or Deshaun Golston, who are fantastic safeties. I just think that their defense will ride them all the way. 8-8 will be solid, and I think they can be contenders the next year. I think the Panthers are going to go 6-10. And they will bomb because that offense is going to struggle because Cam Newton can't lead a team for shit. So, now we have the NFC West, which consists of the Seahawks, the 49ers, the Rams, and the Cardinals. My predictions for this are the Seahawks are going to win the division at 11-5, though, this year. I think it's going to be really tight-knit, and there's going to be a lot of ties in terms of, like there's going to be a lot of divisional ties. I think the Cardinals will be second, and they will also be 11-5.
Which about the 49ers making the playoffs there?
See, I don't know, because I really like the Cardinals, and I like what they do, but the 49ers are just too good.
I'm about to blow your mind.
You know, actually, I'm going to change this whole thing around, I think. I don't know. I'm a little tentative right now. I think the Seahawks are going to be tied in the division with some other team, and they're going to win because of their divisional record. So I think they'll be like an 11-5. But I'm not quite sure if it's going to be the 49ers or if it's going to be the Cardinals who are going to lead the division, because I think the Cardinals have a ton of tools to do it, but the 49ers are just a better team overall. They just are. They have better receivers. They have a better tight end, a better offensive line. They have better running backs. They have a much better defense, a ridiculous defense. So I think I'm unfortunately going to have to give it to the 49ers. I think they'll go 11-5. I think the Cardinals will then go 10-6, and I think the Rams are going to go 8-8. Now, that doesn't leave a lot of room for, like, losing, but that's because I think all four of these teams are absolutely ridiculous.
It's going to be really interesting. And, you know, it's hilarious because 10 years ago at this very time, they were the worst division in football, arguably.
In fact, I would not be surprised if the Seahawks didn't win the division and it was the Cardinals and the 49ers going, and the Seahawks not going to the playoffs. I would not be surprised. I would be surprised if the Rams made the playoffs. Although
they were actually my dark horse at one point.
They are still my dark horse, but I just don't.
I don't know, man.
My dark horse is the Chargers go to the Super Bowl.
That'd be
watch
cool.
it happen.
That'd
All right,
be really cool.
So those are my predictions. Go ahead.
So first place in the NFC West, I have the Cardinals winning the division.
Wow, that's like so never gonna happen. But okay.
I think that they are a very well coached team. I think they have
You think Pete Carroll's a good coach?
I think he's a good coach.
Jim Harbaugh's a good coach?
I just think Bruce Arians is a better coach.
Ooh,
I know that's a very bold statement.
Bold coming from a guy who just won a Super Bowl.
Very bold statement, I know.
And a guy who's never even come close to the Super Bowl.
Yep. Well, I think Bruce Arians is a phenomenal coach. I think that the Cardinals have an excellent roster. I
love their roster. They're just in a bad division to do it right now.
They are, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, you know, it's. I think they just.
If they were in the NFC North, they'd sweep the division.
Yeah, they would. But you know, they just have so many weapons too. You know, I mean, as far as Larry Fitzgerald, they have Michael Floyd. They did lose Andre Roberts, which kind of sucks.
Yeah. You know what they should do? They should have Dallas go to the NFC West and St. Louis go to the NFC East. Technically, Dallas is farther away.
I don't want them to change the divisions.
Technically, Dallas is farther away.
I really don't want them to do that.
It's farther west.
Yeah, they got to keep it though. They got to keep it.
Yeah, watch it not happen. No, they need to have just no divisions.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing with the Cardinals anyway. Their defense is ridiculous good. You got John Abraham, Darnell Dockett, Patrick Peterson, Tyrann Mathieu. You know, he actually didn't do too bad last year. And then you got Darrell Washington, who hopefully he's
suspended for a year.
Shit. Okay. Well, you also have Jeremiah Bell, Carlos Dansby, who had a nice year last year.
Antonio Cromartie there.
Antonio Cromartie, they just signed. Yeah, you're right. Totally forgot about that. Antoine Cason, who's not bad either. Antoine Cason's pretty solid. He was a first-round pick a couple, 5-6 years ago. But
we're approaching an hour.
Yeah, we really need to speed this up. But anyways, I think the Cardinals finished first. I think they go 11-5. Second place, the Seahawks. 9-7.
Dude, the 49ers are not going to miss the playoffs.
Seahawks go 9-7. Third place.
That's not going to happen.
Third place, the 49ers. 9-7. Fourth place, the Rams. 7-9.
The only combination I see are the Cardinals and 49ers or the Seahawks and 49ers, but the 49ers are not missing the playoffs.
I'm telling you right now, man.
Colin Kaepernick is going to suck, I think, but their defense is unfreaking believable.
I don't know, man.
It's so good.
It is, but freaking Alden Smith can't stay out of trouble.
Still
They
good.
lost Dante Whitner.
They still have Justin Smith and Patrick Willis and friggin' what's his face,
Navarro
the
Bowman.
offensive lineman. Yeah, Navarro Bowman. Eric Reed or Eric Wright or whatever the freak his name is. Yeah, Eric Reed.
He had a nice rookie year last year. Ahmad Brooks.
Yeah, they're so good defensively.
I don't know.
And offensively, they're perfect other than Colin fucking Kaepernick.
Yeah, that's true. I think they're gonna just.
Colin Kaepernick's gonna get hurt this year. I guarantee.
I think they're gonna
guarantee it. Who's the backup? Blaine Gabbert, I think, right now.
Yep.
He's gonna lead them to a friggin' Super Bowl, and I hope he does because I hope Colin Kaepernick breaks his stupid, skinny little track legs. That's what they look like. He has no muscle in his lower legs. They look terrible. They look like a track player's leg or track runner's legs.
Yeah, it does actually.
I hope Clay Matthews breaks both of them in half on one play.
He
goes and tries to run out of bounds, and Clay Matthews destroys him.
Really we do not like him at all.
He's my least favorite starting quarterback. Yeah.
Nice. But yeah, that'll.
And then the Rams.
Yeah, the Rams I think go 7-9.
Oh, yikes!
I just I would like to say that they go to the playoffs.
But their defense is really good. I feel so bad. Their defense is so good.
I do too, but just I don't see it, man.
Yeah.
Their
offense is just not good.
Zach Stacy came along last year, and I love that.
All right. I mean, but Sam Bradford is all right too. But the receivers are awful.
They didn't do anything with the receiving.
Yeah, they're freaking terrible. Tyvon Austin is an ass. He's gonna explode one day because he's like 5'6", 150.
Tyvon Austin is Dante Hall.
He's gonna explode. Like he's gonna catch a pass and he's gonna try to juke someone and someone's gonna come up and lane up and he's literally gonna explode.
Yeah, probably will.
He will disintegrate on the field. They're gonna have to bury his ashes and throw him in the ocean or something because he's gonna disintegrate.
It just pisses me off. It's fun to know.
He's one of those point guards in basketball you play when you play pickup basketball, and he's 5'5", 130, but he's actually decently athletic and he knows how to get around big guys. But as soon as he gets hit, he goes whining home to his mother about how he got hit.
Seriously. All
right, well that's gonna have to do it because I cannot believe how freaking long this goes. Next Friday, I am not entirely sure what we plan on doing, but we will have something good for you guys. So please stay tuned. We really enjoy it when people comment.
We enjoy when people watch.
Yes,
actually.
Anything you can do to help support the channel is greatly appreciated. We love all of you. Good night.